So I know that you say that your cousin, had fought back, but did you personally see people fight back?
No, never.
And why do you think that is?
Well, we were like imprisoned. We were 4.5 years in a ghetto. We came from the ghetto, we came to Auschwitz. Now let me tell you something, Auschwitz. Hell on earth. Beatings unbelievable. Zeilapel, roll call. You see the electric wiring was going up to the heaven. When I came into Auschwitz from that train, screaming my head off my sisters too because they took away the family, I picked up my head and I said, God, that's the end of the road. I'll never get out alive from here. Okay? But God had something. I was caught by the Obersturmführerin, Ruthie and myself. And she almost knocked our brains out. Beatings, unbelievable. In the morning, the girls who got fed up went over to the electric wires, and we stayed Zeilapel as a roll call twice a day, 25,000. And they had to close off the electricity in the whole camp to bring the girls who lost their lives touching the electric wires because they were fed up. It's unbelievable. 25,000 in one toilet, one barrack. If you grabbed a little water to wash out your dress or wash your face, you were lucky.
So what happened when your camp was liberated?
Well, from Auschwitz, we went to an ammunition factory. We made bullets to Eideran near Dresden. This is already October 1944. And from there, we went to Theresienstadt, and we were liberated. Why Theresienstadt? Theresienstadt was a ghetto. Theresienstadt was for privileged people. Okay, why? Because they still were building a crematorium, capacity 35,000. And they lost the war. It's already 45, beginning of 45. They lost the war already. The Allies are already in Berlin. And they're still building a crematorium, but the engineer decided not to finish it. And he got a medal from the United States in the 70s. Honest, he saved 35. Dead people were walking into Theresienstadt in the beginning of 1945 from all the little camps.
I wanted to ask you, because we're starting to run out of time a little bit, and I wanted to get to a couple questions, but how was life for you after World War II ended? I know that you said that you had gone to a displaced persons camp for about 4 years.
Yes.
And
I lived in Germany. Well, we were actually going to Israel. That time was Palestine, from Theresienstadt. And was occupied by the Russians because it was Czechoslovakia. But the English wouldn't give us wouldn't let us go. We were 500 young kids. And the Russians had a train for us. And we were stopped in Austria. And the Americans came. And they took the train, and they took us back to Germany, to a displaced persons camp. This is like August or beginning of September 1945.
Now, experts say that some Holocaust survivors have placed a lot of guilt upon themselves. Did you ever feel guilt after the Holocaust?
No.
No? But once you did come to the United States?
Never.
You...
I just was thinking when I was running away from the Germans, when I was on the truck and to that gate. And when a whole bunch of us were pushing out the gate, and the Jewish police from the outside opened it up, and I was on the bottom, and they started pushing everybody back. And I took 2 heads. I was laying like this on the floor, on the bottom. People were piled up on me. I was being choked. I was wearing a pair of wooden shoes, and I lost one right away then. And I pushed back 2 heads. And I wiggled myself out, and the Jewish police was pushing me back, so I bit him in his leg. When he bent down, I got through his legs. This is only on my mind when I wake up. I was very delicate, very quiet. If I could do that to save my life, to push, they all got out because later on. I was in a basement for hours. Anyway, but this is not a guilt. I'm just thinking about it. How could I do that to push two heads back and wiggle myself out? I just was thinking about my life.
Well, I know some people, such as the Iranian President Ahmadinejad and historian David Irving, have described the Holocaust as never happening or being a myth. What is your opinion on people that deny the Holocaust?
They're crazy. Because when I talk to Boise, to the University of Boise, a girl comes over and she says, I have a brother. We went there, invited by the governor of Idaho. And we spoke. And we had an exhibit, an Annie Frank exhibit. What do I tell a brother who is a skinhead who says that Holocaust never happened? I said, if you go home and you tell your brother he should produce one person who lost their life, not 6 million, 1.5 million children. One. My mother, my father, my little sister Lily. Okay? If he can produce one, then we start talking. But I was there. I was there. Had I been my age, had I been 22 or 25, I would have wound up in the gas chamber. I was too old maybe for them for slave labor. That's why I survived, because they said we still have like 6 months or to 8 months labor in us, that age.
How do you think the Nazis, they were ordinary people and they were made to be, cold-blooded murderers. How do you think that's possible for people to turn from, living an ordinary everyday life to doing something like that?
Okay. As I said in the beginning, we had friends, Germans. They were the most beautiful, wonderful people. But the situation was such a bad time for the Germans when they lost the First World War. If you go back in history, they had about 40% or 35% unemployment. When Hitler came to power, he overthrew the Wehrmacht Republic. He wanted to, look, I lived in Landsberg am Lech for 4.5 years. It's 56 miles from Munich in Bavaria. And there was a jail where they were hanging later on after the Nuremberg trials. The whole Hitler's cabinet was being hanged there, whoever was alive still. Okay? Hitler wrote Mein Kampf there.
Why do you think it's important for people to remember the Holocaust?
It should not happen again to nobody because of color, religion, or whatever. This is a crime of centuries that the world let it happen. It should not have happened. We didn't do nothing wrong to anybody. We gave the world the biggest scientists.
Well, I want to thank you. This is all the time that we have for, sorry.
Okay.
My name is Tiaira Nowlin, and this is On Point. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, you better welcome. Now let me tell you something, Auschwitz. Hell on earth. Beatings unbelievable. Zeilappell, roll call. You see the electric wiring was going up to the heaven. When I came into Auschwitz from that train, screaming my head off my sisters too because they took away the family, I picked up my head and I said, God, that's the end of the road. I'll never get out alive from here.